Yo, what's up, Tone?
Yo, what's going on, bro? New week.
Yeah, new week, new you.
That's right, bro.
Yeah, bro.
Bro. Yeah, bro. Brosis, bro, chief, pal.
Bro cheese. Yo, listen.
I'm listening.
Last week, it's been like a full week, and we haven't really talked about it because, life. But, last week, there was a movie that we've been waiting for, and it dropped. And it goes by the name of The Suicide Squad.
Yeah, man. This was a movie that you originally hated. When the last one came out, Suicide Squad was like the shittiest movie you had ever seen. And
yeah. Well, not the shittiest movie I've ever seen. That seat is reserved by Catwoman. But it was damn close. It just wasn't good. I mean, I'll be honest. Day one when I saw it, it was like I had fun. I had a good time because I was with my nephew. We all enjoyed ourselves. It wasn't a waste of my money. But, I had zero desire to give it a second viewing, Like, it was just like, it was one of those, like, fleeting moments. Like, this is what I call pure popcorn cinema with zero substance. And I didn't enjoy it. But enough of tearing something down. Let's talk about the new one that came out. Not a sequel. I want to be very clear about that. This is so we really can't call Suicide Squad the first one because this isn't the second one. It's just another Suicide Squad movie, not related to the first, except for Margot Robbie and Viola Davis.
Yeah, they were both in the first one. Yeah, or the other one. Yeah,
and the other cat, Joel Kinnaman. Mm-hmm. They happened to reprise their roles, but even their characters were I thought they were really fucking different this time around. Except for Viola Davis. Viola Davis kind of just amped up the character that she was already playing. But I thought they were all different. I thought Jai Courtney was way better in this one. Mm-hmm. In the limited time that we got to see him. I thought this was, Margot Robbie's best performance as Harley Quinn.
She was awesome.
By far.
Yeah. The thing about Margot Robbie is that, like, when I watch her in Suicide Squad, I forget that it's Margot Robbie. I completely see Harley Quinn. Like, she does such a great job with that character. That it's just like I get lost in her performance, which is to me the sign of an amazing actor. And
I've seen her in other things, and she's completely different.
Yeah, she is. I mean, but she's great. She's a really. I mean, there was that movie with I forgot the name of it, but it was the what was it? The Tanya Harding movie. Like, she was phenomenal in that. Like, you know what I mean? She's just a really great actor. I think the problem that I had with Suicide Squad is that they had some other actors in it that completely took me out of it. Like John Cena. Like, I completely just kept seeing John Cena. Like, I did not see the character at all. Like, at all. John Cena did not work for me. I know that...
All right.
That seems like it's a completely unpopular opinion with you, but for me...
I mean, with a lot of people, but go ahead.
Yeah, dude, just didn't work for me, which is one of the other reasons this proves my theory, which is why he would not work as He-Man for me. Because every time I saw him, it took me completely out of the film. Because I just saw John Cena dressed up as a character. Like, I just can't get past the fact that it's John Cena. I can't take him seriously. And I don't know why. Maybe it's because he was a professional. It's weird because it's like I'll say that it's because he was a former professional wrestler, but then people could say the same thing about The Rock. But I'll watch The Rock in a movie and forget it's The Rock. You know what I mean? I don't know if it's because The Rock's been acting longer, so I'm more amped to actually just see. I've kind of forgotten about him as being like that wrestling side of him. But John Cena, it's just hard for me, dude. I don't know why. A lot of people. I'm glad a lot of people liked it. It wasn't working for me. So yeah.
Yeah, I thought he was fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
And his back and forth with Idris Elba was fucking insane. I thought that shit was a perfect pairing.
Mm-hmm.
Them constantly trying to one up each other was hilarious. The scene where they go to rescue Rick Flag,
yeah,
was dope, and it was funny, and then it was made even funnier when the little reveal happened, which was great. And then they all kind of look at each other and they're like, "Oops."
Yeah, kind of fucked up big time here. Did you? Let me ask you this. So, what did you think of Idris Elba?
I thought he was great.
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, bro. Like, how did you not like?
I don't know, dude. I guess I was just expecting more from him. That's it.
Like, what? How much more?
I just thought.
What else could he have done in a movie like The Suicide Squad? Let's call The Suicide Squad what it is, and that's a very high budget B movie, right? Because that's what James Gunn does, right? Like that was Guardians of the Galaxy 2, super high budget, higher budget than The Suicide Squad, even, and it still had its B movie roots, right? Because that's what James Gunn does.
Yeah.
And yet, these actors and stuff like that, like, they put in, I think they put in great performances for the material that they were working with. And that's not to take anything away from Gunn, because, dude, Gunn is one of my favorite directors, man, hands down. But I just don't know what else you expected from.
I don't know, dude. I mean, like, he
Idris
goes into,
Elba.
I don't know, he goes in to see his daughter and like flips out because he doesn't want to like be a father. I mean, like, cool.
Mm-hmm.
That was like the highest point of your emotion, is when you actually saw your daughter and like basically told her that you didn't want to be a part of her life and like fuck you, and basically, and that was the highest you were gonna ever get. Like, but out through the entire fucking movie, he was just wicked, kind of monotone, and played it very simplistic. He's got a friggin' giant starfish coming after him. There was no like change in his emotion. I didn't see him yelling. I didn't see him freaking out. I didn't see him actually going ape shit. Like, the highest point of his emotion in that entire movie was when he screamed at his daughter and when he held a pencil or whatever the fuck that was to Viola Davis's neck. Like, but all the other shit that fucking happened, that was where the stakes were so much higher, his emotion was kind of just the fucking same, like flatlined. Like, that's my problem.
But why would the stakes ever be higher than him trying to steer his daughter away from him in the life that he would lead her?
Because his life is on the line. Because he's leading a pack of other people that he is basically responsible for them. It's the takeover of the entire world. He's this.
So if you were leading other people,
right?
I just want to get this clear, because I know you, and I know the answer to this, hopefully. If you're leading other people and you're leading them into combat and whatnot, like you would freak out like in that situation, and you.
I'm not saying freak out. I'm not saying
you would freak out less like if your daughter was like.
No, I'm not saying
footsteps.
freak. I'm not saying freak out, not like lose my mind. I'm saying like I would have liked to see a little bit more. Like, dude, the stakes were higher in those moments. Like, he just seemed to kind of play it kind of cool, where, like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. He just like, dude, I would have liked to have seen a little bit more, like, fear, a little bit more, like, just emotion behind his character in those moments where, like, he's in the middle of a war zone. You know, it's just kind of like he didn't really.
I mean, here's why that happened.
Maybe it's his character, dude. Like, maybe that's the character from Suicide Squad, and I'm not familiar with it. But I just didn't.
Well, no, it has. I mean, it's not. You don't even have to be familiar with Bloodsport, right? Like, to know that a veteran, a war veteran, somebody who's been in actual high stakes situations like that, constantly was raised to be that way by his father, who was also a veteran, and trained him and raised him to be the way that he was and to be a weapon, right? he's more comfortable in those situations than he is trying to have human interaction with somebody that he cares about.
Yeah.
Right. So in the situation where he's talking to his daughter, that situation for him is a high stakes combat situation for you. And a high stakes combat situation for him is talking to your daughter for you.
Yeah, but you know what?
Right? Like, so it's like you just flip roles with him, right? Like, and then you understand, like, you know, what it's like for him. Like, he enjoys that shit. So he's going to go through that calmly and in the manner that he is in that movie. That, to me, that made perfect sense.
I don't know, man. Maybe I just couldn't relate to him. I couldn't relate to the character at all, and that's why it didn't work for me. Like, I just, like, being in that situation, like, I don't know. I feel like just being more articulate with your team and being more, like, I don't know, dude. I'm trying to find, like, a good parallel, like, to somebody who I've seen in, like, another movie. Like, if you look at, like, the A-Team, or you look at, like, I don't know, I'm always going to go back to this because I know the movie so well, like Arnold Schwarzenegger in Predator. Like, he's basically, like, in charge of his team. Like, you go this way, you go this way. There are moments when he's screaming. There are moments when, like, he's like, you know, go get to the chopper, like, whatever. It's like a famous line. But, like, there are moments where, like, you see the seriousness of the situation in his body language and his tone. And I feel like Idris Elba just kind of, like, walked through there like it was like a walk in the park. You know, and, like, maybe that's the way, maybe he's just immune to being, he doesn't have fear in those situations, and that's fine, but I just found it kind of unrealistic. I don't know. I wanted to see more from him, that's all. Like, I went into this movie being like, oh, like, Idris Elba, I really like him. But at the end of the movie, I was like, oh, that's it? And I wasn't the only one who thought this, because I was at work last week, and we were talking about Suicide Squad. It had just come out the past weekend. And somebody was like, oh, did you check out Suicide Squad? And we were like, oh, what'd you think of Idris Elba? And before I could say anything, some guy was like, oh, dude, I expected a lot more from him. I found him kind of boring. And I was like, I actually the same way. You know, like, I just, so it wasn't me.
Interesting.
I've seen him in other things where I just find him a more interesting character. I don't know, maybe my expectations were too high for his character, or I had preconceived. I hadn't read a lot of the source material to know enough about his backstory to understand that character. Maybe that's why it didn't work for me. But Margot Robbie, I mean, like,